As you guys would have seen on the channel, I've had many builds such as the Triton and the 105 series where I've used different 12 watt products like XTM, Kings and Remco. But in today's video, we're going to be looking at the Anaconda products and seeing if they really are a good budget option. So the question is today, is the DUNE products better than the Kings ones? Let's get into it. So in the 100 series, I have a 30 litre Anaconda DUNE full drive fridge. As you will see there, I have the 240 amp hour lithium battery, and I also have the battery monitor, the 2000 watt inverter, and I have the 40 amp DC to DC charger. So that's a quick overview of what's in the car. If you want to see the full fit out, check out my channel. There is a video, I will link it in the description, but let's get into checking out some of these products. So as you guys can see, this is the DUNE four-wheel drive 30 litre fridge. And as you can see, it has the latch at the top, which is a little bit different to the XTM one that I had in the 105 series. And I have had a Kings one in my work car before, and it is pretty similar, but I think the latching on this one is the tiniest bit better. It's probably at temperature right now because I had it on just before to drain the battery. So if we hold that down, let's get it down to -4. And let's see how much amperage it draws because the compressor is about to cut in on it. I can hear it now, I've just cut in. 2.5 amps, cranking up to about close to 3 amps. So that's not too bad for a little 30 litre fridge. It would probably use less if it was cooled a bit more, but right at the back of mine, I do have the battery, so it has no room for cooling. So as you can see, yeah, don't worry about the plus there. I've got the shunt hooked up wrong, but it's still reading correctly. Yeah, it's creeping up towards 3 amps, which I don't think is too bad for a fridge like this. It is cold today, so it is not really needing to draw any current to actually get it down to temperature because it is a cold day. As you can see, I've only got one of the cages in. It works out perfect if you put all your food there and your drinks there. I think it's a really good size, and I really like the latching on that one. The handle feels a lot stronger than the Kings one as well, because the Kings one has like a tiny little handle, but this one is a lot longer. You can get more fingers under it. So now if we turn on the inverter, you'll hear that the fan will cut in and it will spike to about 7 amps, 8 amps, and now it'll drop down. So with the inverter on and nothing plugged into it, it is using about 1.8 amps, which isn't too bad. I haven't actually plugged much into this because I don't really use it, but that's okay because like if I do need it, I need it. The only thing I don't like is how you can see all the wiring here. That's me being a little bit picky, and the switch is a little bit dicky, which is okay. But yeah, as you can see, the fan kicks on in every time you do that. That's drawing about 1.8 amps just sitting there, and that is drawing about close to 2.8 amps to when the compressor is cut in, which is actually really, really good for a fridge. As you can see, the battery monitor works killer. It just sits there and shows you all that sort of stuff. So now what I'll do is I'm going to put the camera down here, and because the battery is being used at the moment, if I turn this off and start the car, you actually see that the DC to DC charger working. It should jump up to roughly 30 amps, probably a bit more. So it's a 40 amp charger. 10 times out of 10, your charger, if it's a 40 amp, a 30 amp, whatever it is, it will not charge that high. So let's have a look at this. Turn that on. Like so. Go start the car. Come around here. Start the car. And now that the car is running, you should be able to see it starts jumping up in the amperage because the battery needs a little bit of charge since I've just been drawing off it. Let's see what it gets to. 33 amps. That is actually really good for a 40 amp DC charger. So one thing with the DC charger is if it's rated, say this one that I have as a spare, is a 20 amp. If it's rated at 20 amp, it is never going to charge at 20 amp. That is the maximum it can charge at. So that 40 amp charging at 33 amps is actually really, really good. That is like probably one of the higher ones. So, all right, so in my hands here, I have a 20 amp DC to DC charger from DUNE 4WD drive. So this is the exact one that I put in my car, but the only difference was mine was a 40 amp. So as you can see here, it comes in with the packaging. I really like this one because it is actually a little bit more compact than certain ones. So for work, the only ones we really use are the Red Arc ones, and that's because we get a good price for them through work and they're kind of the best. I've only ever had like one fail over the 6 or 7 years I've been working. So the TJM ones have failed a lot, and yeah. But so this is the 20 amp DC to DC charger with the solar input. As you can see on the front here, it has the mode select button, and you can it shows you, so when you have it actually turned on, it'll show that the alternator's charging, and then if you have a solar input, it'll show that the solar's charging. It's got the mode for standard, gel, AGM, calcium and lithium battery, and mine's obviously on lithium battery, so that's a bit different to the red arc ones, because on the red arc ones they have wiring coming out the back and you just connect the wiring and that'll change the charge state of it. So as you can see, it has the output wires going to the second battery, the solar, and the only thing I didn't really like about it is the 3-pin Anderson plug, which you can still plug a 2-pin Anderson plug into, but 3-pin Anderson plug is actually kind of hard to come across. So I did tell them to maybe look at changing that. But yeah, so that is what the product there. And it's also got a temp sensor here, which yeah, you can use, which is probably good because a DC to DC charger likes to be cooled. That's why most of the kits that you can buy for cars are at the front of the car behind the grille, because it gets a nice amount of cooling. So in here, it's probably overheating a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, I've never had a problem with it, and I'm not really using it in stupid like temperatures. So if we go onto the DUNE 4WD Drive website right now, this comes in at $139.99, so $140 for that. The one thing I wanted to show is the size of it. So it's 163 long and 129 wide, which is really, really good, and they come with a 2-year warranty. So now I'm going to compare it to the Kings one. The Kings one is a 25 amp DC to DC charger, so it's a tiny bit different, but that one is $190, so it's a little bit more expensive. Kind of has all the same features, but if we look at the specs of this one, the warranty on the Kings one is only a 12-month warranty, which is a little bit average because you kind of want the bigger warranty, I'd say, especially if you're buying a cheaper sort of a product. Kings one is 131 wide and 153 long and 47 high. So it is a little bit smaller than the DUNE one in length, but it is a little bit wider. So the width is usually the width is kind of what I look for in a BCDC charger, because, sorry I keep saying BCDC, it's a red arc product and that's all that we use. So the width is what I look for. So if you look at the projector one, they do one that's about that odd size now, and it has no wiring coming out. That's the neatest one that I can think of, but it is like $500 to buy that one. And this one is $140. So I was a little bit skeptical when they said, can you try this one out? Because all my other battery systems, I've always used projector or red arc DC-DC chargers. And so I've tried this one now and it has worked great. It's worked really, really good. The only thing about this is only a 12 volt product. So this is literally just for 12 volts. But the solar input obviously is 12 to 28 volt because solar will put in a little bit more. But the Kings one is a 12-24, they reckon. So you can use it for a 24 volt battery setup, but 9 times out of 10 people won't have that. So yeah, I like that this one's black as well. It is nice. It's a pretty good product. I like that one so far. I have not had a problem with it. Moving on to the battery, I'll put up some other clips as well from when I did the install, but you can see it's tucked in the back here with not much heating. And as you can see under there, it is sitting nicely under there. And I have not had a problem with that. And I can't really compare batteries because like you would have to pull the cells out on the inside and I can't really do that. But the battery itself, I'd kind of just go for whatever's cheaper. I will put a price up at the Kings one and the DUNE 4WD Drive one, but I will say this one is a lot lighter than the Kings one. I don't know why, but the Kings one, I think I had a 240 amp hour as well for my work car, and it was a lot heavier than the DUNE 4WD Drive one. I'll try and put the weights up on the screen. Maybe that's me just being delusional, but we'll have a look at that too. So yeah, can't really compare the batteries, but this battery has been perfect. It has been flat 3 or 4 times from me not using it, and it's charged up perfectly every single time. And I've load tested it too, and it just continues to charge up, which is exactly what a lithium battery should do. So overall, my experience with the DUNE 4WD Drive products has been really good so far. I'll continue to do more testing and make them go through harsher conditions, especially during summer. But so far, they've been perfect. They have not faltered once, and I've really enjoyed actually getting to use them. I really like how it's all black, and I like the tan color logo. My favorite product is definitely the battery monitor. That thing's been really cool. There's a lot of different settings you can do, and it shows me my battery's at 100%, and that has not failed me once, even though I got the shunt hooked up the wrong way, which I still got to change. But yeah, these are some of the only, this is the only fridge that I've ever seen use 0 amps when it gets the temperature. It just cuts out and uses 0 amps, which I think is actually crazy. I've never seen that before. But yeah, so If you guys want to see more reviews or reviews on something specific about this setup, let me know. I will be sure to make a video on it. If you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.